Well, hi everyone. I'm John Retlin with my review of WWE Raw, and I'm not going to have a lot of kind words for most of this show. Now, not all of it was bad, but it got to be soul-crushingly, soul-devouringly bad around the halfway point, and I think you probably can guess what I did not like. That women's championship match actually embarrassed me. And I'll tell you why, though. I'll tell you a little bit later, though, because I have to start at the beginning, which is a very good place to start. Recaps of the Orton Big Show match from last week that we did not need to see in 2020 or 2013. I credit both men for trying to make the match interesting, but it wasn't. I hope Big Show's okay. Orton comes out and does a promo, talks about all his accolades, saying, that he, multi-time champion, all that. And guys like Rock and Austin, their accolades don't hold up to him. Well, no, because their matches actually will stand the test of time, and I cannot remember the last great Randy Orton match where I'm like, I'm really happy I watched that Randy Orton match. When motivated, he is great. And when, he's really motivated, he's excellent. But often, I haven't given a shit about Randy Orton. Now, is he on their level at this point? Sure. He was basically at fucking sea level before this, so any, low rising up that he did will seem better by comparison. Then he says he wants to be WWE champion again because we don't need to fucking see that in 2020. We don't fucking need to see that. And then after that promo, we get a match, except we don't because as Orton's leaving, Naya comes in. Naya says she wants to be Raw Women's Champion. Naya, I want you to stop wrestling and acting and, honestly, lounging around the ring like a three-legged dead zebra. Why the fuck are you even here, Naya? Besides The Rock getting you in the door, and I'm not even knocking The Rock, because now it's up to Naya. It's been up to Naya since she got in the door to get better. And she hasn't gotten better. She is fucking rotten. She got a blase promo. Here's a Shayna Baszler to basically, try and spice this thing up. They briefly brawl. Shayna is having to do everything. She's having to basically break her back to try and carry Naya to anything passable. And then a bunch of people get tossed around and everything, and I don't know, actually that happens a little bit later, but it's pretty fucking ridiculous. We get a pull-apart thing. Then the Street Profits are basically doing the ring introductions here, because apparently we don't have the Street Profits yelling enough on commentary or on the mic. We need that again. I like Montez Ford, I like Angelo Dawkins, but guess what? I don't need to fucking hear them shout incessantly. And I know that I'm shouting a lot, but here's the thing. I'm just doing a YouTube video. They are going out to a worldwide audience, and yelling does not equal being entertaining characters. And they are a talented team. I've given the fuck up on them. I don't care what happens to them as Raw Tag Team Champions. I want them to lose them. I don't want anything bad to happen to the individuals. But as characters, I'm fucking done with them. So then we have the Viking Raiders versus Andrade and Garza versus Cedric and Rico Chasene. And I'm going to keep calling him that until he fucking explains why the hell he was hanging out with Chase and Rance. And anybody that was hanging out with that guy, Moose, anybody that's hanging out with a freaking convicted pedo, I don't care if he served his time, he should not be allowed around wrestling. And the fact that Ricochet, who seems intelligent, is hanging out with him, no, that's fucking horseshit. So he can be great in the ring, and I'm going to make fun of Rico Chasene. So, how was the match? Well, if the Street Profits hadn't been fucking it up by ruining it by doing commentary, horrible commentary I might add, as bad as what Bayley and Sasha did on SmackDown, and don't worry, I'll get to them a little bit later. If it wasn't for that, the match was fine. Wayne Clipper pins Rico Chasene, so yeah, he gets pinned. Cool. Ricochet should choose his friends more carefully, as Samoa Joe said last week. And then we get the heels attacking the champions afterwards. Cool, so we get Garza and Andrade versus the Street Profits at SummerSlam, which could take place on a beach, could take place on a cruise ship. I think should take place on a beach. Let's just go full on Bash at the Beach 95 with this shit. I wonder who's going to play Renegade, though. And I feel bad for Renegade, but he got booed massively there. My goodness. Check out my retro review of that if you want. Shayna versus Naya did not get started. Instant double countout, and they brawl, and this was rotten. Who was the guy with the red fro? Who was he? Why did they treat him like he was important? Because they never described who the fuck he was. He was just there, and then he got tossed out. Just, what the fuck? Like, this is the program you have for Shayna? If she doesn't beat Naya flat in like 2 minutes, what the fuck is the point of this? Nia Jax is an embarrassment to women's wrestling, though some booking a little bit later made me embarrassed to, root for the fact that women's wrestling should be equal because it just was as bad as the men's, but I'll get to that here in a little bit. I feel bad for Shayna. I don't feel bad for Naya. Naya could be off TV for good, and I would not miss her one goddamn bit. Person herself, Nothing but the best. Wrestler, lousy. So, eye for an eye recaps. Rollins and Murphy. Are you with me, Murphy? Are you with me? Murphy, are you with me? I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you. Rollins is practically doing it. For the greater good, all that. And said about Dominic, of course Dominic's going to be here. People like him was an actual line that Seth said. Fucking hell, Seth said. That's almost like a speak and spell thing. So, Mark Henry is then suddenly talking to Ruby and Bianca. Cool. I mean, Mark Henry was instrumental in getting Bianca to sign with NXT. And then Rollins is here. And it's like, I'm not in a good mood. Talking about all this, talking about Dominic being here. Don't sneak up and attack me. Come down here. I promise you, Dominic, I won't hurt you. Seth, please stop promising things that we actually want to see. No, I don't know why I have such unyielding rage towards Dominic. Maybe because I think he's David Flair and Eric Watts rolled into one. I give him credit for trying to take on, the Mysterio name and everything, and he's trying to, carry on the family legacy, and maybe he will turn out to be good. But here's the thing. Rey Mysterio is a once-in-a-generation athlete. He is the equivalent of Tiger Mask, in my opinion, as far as, how innovative he was. At least as far as, how Tiger Mask was innovative in Japan and got U.S. audiences here, and I'm talking the original Tiger Mask, even though Go Go Tiger, yes, the song's in your head now. Rey Mysterio, once-in-a-generation athlete. Great. Yes, he suffered injuries and everything. He's had bad booking, but he is still great. He is still dynamic to watch. They are going to ruin Dominic before he even gets a chance if they keep pushing this whole thing. And then Rollins says, I'm here for you, Dominic. Dominic says no words, and somehow it's the worst promo that he's ever cut. And then Dominic attacks him. And then Rollins and Murphy destroy Dominic. And I love this. They were doing so good with this. It was almost as good as when Brock destroyed Dominic. I don't know why. Maybe it was just funny to watch this wrestler's kid just get tossed around. But then Aleister comes down, and he gets beaten down, and they do the whole eye into the stairs thing. Are they writing off Aleister Black? Is he okay? Are him and Zelina going to take some time off? I know they're married. Is everything all right? Or are they just doing this to push the whole thing that maybe Aleister just wanted to have a black eye for his angle? Sorry for that, except I'm not. So then Dominic comes with a cane. Gross. That sounded a lot less bad. That sounded a lot less worse in my head. And then basically it hits Murphy and Rollins. Are we getting Dominic versus Murphy or Dominic versus Rollins at SummerSlam? These are the questions that need to be asked. And then we get Truth calling Mustafa Ali Mufasa. Truth at times is funny. This was not one of them. We then get the VIP lounge with Ali. He refuses an invitation to the Herp business or the Hurt business. Might as well be the Hurt business. That's about what this stable really is. And MVP and Lashley and Shelton can be good. I just don't know how well this is going to work. And then, Ali, it looks like he's going to get beat down. And suddenly Truth attacks Shelton trying to win the 24/7 championship back. Let it die. Let the 24/7 championship die. Then Ali versus Lashley with MVP and Shelton. Tozawa suddenly shows up. The ninjas show up, and this show took a goddamn dive. If Bruce Pritchard had anything to do with putting the ninjas on here, he deserves every bit of ridicule, and he deserves to be made miserable until he quits. Fucking quit, Bruce Pritchard, you red-faced, inbred, worthless hillbilly. You never deserved to be in wrestling. Paul Bosch would be spinning in his grave seeing what you've done to wrestling. You fucking embarrassment, you fucking shithead. Like Bruce Pritchard's gonna watch this. And Conrad Thompson ain't much better, by the way. The guy's fucking annoying. So anyway, this was bad. This was fucking ridiculous. The whole, and by the way, I got one better, whatever. What they actually should do to Bruce Pritchard is flog him like they did in Starship Troopers. Remember that? Remember that flogging? Remember that? Do that. Maybe they'll teach him not to be such a yes man to Vince. Bit harsh? Don't fucking care. It ain't gonna happen. It's just a fucking scenario. Anyway, Bull Nelson for the win. Ali loses. I hope that Ali actually does get his shot against MVP and actually beats him because, let's be honest, MVP as U.S. champion does nothing for me. Now we get Dolph backstage, and, he's got a Pride thing on his jacket. Cool. That's all great. You got a problem with Pride? Fuck off. And apparently had a Britney Spears shirt. I actually just caught a glimpse of it. Good. Good stuff. Asuka versus Sasha for the Raw Women's Championship. Okay, the title can be won by pinfall, submission, countout, DQ. No interference. None. There is absolutely no way that any bullshit can happen with this match, right? Oh no, they fucked this shit up royally. Let me just say right now that they fucked up everything they could have possibly done with Asuka and Sasha. Because their Extreme Rules match, easy for me to say, was actually really good. Until all the fuckery at the end, which fucking ruined the match. The work rate of Sasha and Asuka is great. Sasha is incredible in the ring. Asuka is even more incredible in the ring, in my personal opinion. Bayley is also good in the ring. Kairi chases Bayley to the back or whatever. This is Kairi's last appearance on WWE TV, as you will see soon. Here's the thing. The match is great. I just didn't care because the Extreme Rules finish fucking took it out of me because I feel like I felt that they were going to fuck it up. And I'm like, they fucked up Asuka at Mania 34. They fucked her up with that Carmella feud. And however you want to fucking feel about Carmella, that feud was fucking rotten. It was absolutely fucking rotten. Carmella ain't that good in the ring anyway. But it wasn't good because they involved Ellsworth and it made Asuka seem like a fool. And then they left Asuka off TV for a while and then had her be part of the TLC match at, 2018. And then she won the SmackDown Women's Championship, had that incredible match with Becky. They forgot all about her. She had that feud with Sonya and Mandy that went absolutely nowhere, which is unfortunate. And then they had her lose the title to Charlotte 2 weeks before Mania 35, which apparently was a Hurricane Helms call. One of the few bad calls that he has made in his career, and it was fucking stupid. If it was his call. Now, I ultimately am going to blame Vince because Vince is the one that makes the final call. But then Asuka's in the Battle Royal, and then she just powers around and everything. She has a team with Kairi. They're the Kabuki Warriors. They become tag team champions. Charlotte keeps braining Kairi at the TLC 2019 match because Charlotte at times is a careless twat. And I hope that she recovers from whatever surgery she has, but I have no desire to see her back on TV this year. Keep her off TV until either crowds come back or I give a shit about her. So just have her come back when crowds come back because I'm never going to give a shit about her. But then Asuka has a great match with Becky at the 2020 Rumble. They had all this shit that they could have done. Then she wins the Raw Women's Championship at Money in the Bank. You go and be a warrior because I'm going to go and be a mother. And then they had this bullshit stuff with Naya. They had other bullshit stuff happen. And then the stuff with Sasha just absolutely fucking nuked it. Why did they hate Asuka so much? I'm not saying I want her to go on an undefeated streak like she did in NXT. Because as cool as that was, it did kind of fuck things up, and the women's division was nuked. Now, that was by design, and maybe it was to build it back up and everything, and Triple H has not really known how to book a women's division for a while. But that did kind of affect things badly, but that wasn't necessarily Asuka's fault. It did become the Asuka problem, but that being said, there was still some good stuff here, and I'm going somewhere with this, because for all the bad shit that they did, they could have salvaged this by having Asuka win. Because then Asuka versus Shayna might have actually been a pretty good feud at SummerSlam. Nope. They show footage of Kairi and Bayley brawling backstage. And Kairi's getting brained against the garage door. And Asuka has a chance to basically tap Sasha out right there and beat her. What does she do? She leaves to go help Kairi, gets counted out. Sasha is the Raw Women's Champion, and hey, you see this? It's a garbage can. That's where the fucking Raw Women's Championship is right now. And this is no disrespect to Sasha, who has worked hard, and apparently has learned how to take neck bumps from Kota Ibushi. Sasha, I want you to actually live for a while, and I'm sure your fans, your husband, and your family wants to see you actually live for a while and not be in a goddamn wheelchair. Please stop bumping like you hate your neck. Only Kota Ibushi, Tetsuya Naito, and various others hate their neck that much. RVD hated his neck before they did. But anyway, I digress. They fucked this up so fucking bad. Why even have a women's division on Raw? Why even have a women's division on SmackDown? They just took the booking that they had for Charlotte and put it on Bayley and Sasha, who have done what they can to help out the women's division, but now it is the Bayley-Sasha problem. And now I don't give a shit I don't care if they ever face off. They had a chance in 2018, but then the whole you ain't shit thing, and nope, they fucked that up. They still could have done a heel Bayley. It would have actually been even better if she had just not been able to beat Sasha and had to go heel to finally beat her. But no, they couldn't do that. They couldn't fucking do that. And let's stretch this out until we get crowds back and everything. I'm just going to go on my soapbox really quickly as opposed to what I am right now, but let me ask you something. With how fucking stupid some people are here, and with how fucking stupid the bullshit leadership here is, and by the way, if you support the leadership in the goddamn White House, toodaloo, get the fuck off my channel. I don't want you here. I am fucking done being nice, as opposed to being the happy-go-lucky individual I usually am. I do not fucking care if people get mad about this. I do not want them to stretch this shit out until they get fans back, because they may not even get fans back by next WrestleMania. This shit may not go away for a while. We may not have mass gatherings for a while. Also, they've jumped the shark on this whole Sasha Bailey thing to the point where nobody's gonna fucking care. Even with them as talented as they are, and they are talented, they are having some fun. But this whole two-man power trip thing, it worked for Austin and Triple H. It ain't working for Bailey and Sasha. I'm not saying that they aren't working hard, but it doesn't fucking work for me. And if you're a Bailey Sasha fan, you wouldn't get offended, fine. Because I'm not saying that you guys can't like it. You guys can like it all you goddamn well want. That is fucking cool. But this was fucking stupid. It made Asuka seem ridiculous. It made Asuka look dumb. And oh, Asuka's upset afterwards or whatever and snapping. And it's like she's going to get revenge. Or like, oh, she's going to go full Kana. They could have had her go Kana 2.5 years ago, 2 years ago. What have they not done? They haven't had her go Kana. It ain't going to fucking happen. And even if it does, is it really going to matter? Is it really going to matter at this point? They have nuked the women's division on Raw and SmackDown because they panicked, because they haven't built anybody up. Charlotte's gone. Nothing of value was lost. Becky's gone. Something of value was lost. So let's put it on the other two horsewomen. One who has a neck that's basically a stack of dimes, and another one that has a speak to the manager haircut. Who, again, I like them, but I'm sorry, I'm fucking annoyed with them. And I'm annoyed with them, like, to the point where it's not even because they're heels. I just don't fucking care about them. Why the fuck are they giving them all the championships when they aren't helping the Raw and SmackDown ratings? They really aren't. Like, the ratings are not getting much better. I'm not saying they're getting worse because of them, but doing this kind of stuff makes your women's division seem fucking stupid. Yes, they're depleted. There are some people staying home. They have released some people. But when the NXT women's division is the best thing going right now among the three brands, and it ain't even that good, they got some problems. So yeah, fuck this. Just throw the Raw Women's Championship in the bin. Yeah, Asuka could win it back at SummerSlam. What the fuck would that matter? You already screwed up the Bayley-Sasha, face-off. It ain't gonna fucking matter when it does happen. They've blown their load too many times. They've also teased it too many times. They've gotten to the point where the vast majority of fans aren't going to care. If you're still going to care, cool. Let me know in the comments. So I'm going to make up some time here. Regis Philbin tribute. Very nice. R.I.P. to Regis Philbin. Very unfortunate, but he lived a full life. He was a big wrestling fan. Murphy versus Humberto. It was fine. Murphy won. Wasn't a bad match. And then Drew here. He addresses Orton. Says he will face him at SummerSlam because then he faces Drew. Or Drew faces Drew. It's the Spider-Man meme all over again. It was Drew Gulak versus Drew McIntyre. No, it was Drew versus Ziggler. And now it's an Extreme Rules match for both men, and he beats him with a Claymore. And then an RKO out of nowhere. That is what I gotta fucking say about Raw. There's the garbage can. It's over there, not over in the corner. So, I gotta say this much. I don't fucking care if people want to get offended. You can get offended if you want, because you guys are allowed to have your opinion, but I'm not gonna hold back my opinions anymore. I wanted to like this Raw a whole lot more, and it went to shit. Because it was fine for a bit, and then it went to shit. So anyway, am I still going to watch this? Absolutely, I'm still going to watch this. But goddamn, they just hate Asuka, don't they? Anyway, agree, disagree with what I said. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm Joe Ritlin. I'll see you soon.